Hello and welcome back to Leeds Lately for the live watch along of Leeds United versus Sunderland. Oh, just realised I had the audio preview on still, so I was hearing myself back. That was a weird experience. Welcome everybody who's joining us. Welcome, of course, to all of our Leeds Lately members. Liam B, Chewy Backer, John Garside, Karen, Curtin, and more. And Ryan Tune as well is here. And welcome, of course, to all of our non-Leeds Lately members as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope everybody had a really nice Christmas. It was nice to go into Christmas off the back of a win, wasn't it, with that 4-1 victory against Crystal Palace. Today is a little bit of a different proposition because it's away from home, and we've won 1 in 8, I think, away from home. So let's hope that when this game comes around, we actually put on a performance away from home. Now, of course, Sunderland are missing quite a few players due to the Africa Cup of Nations and injuries and whatever. So we will get to that in just a second. But for now, shout out to John Garside for being a member for 23 months. 2-1 Leeds marching on together, says John. Alan Pardew. Yeah, very strange, Chewy. I've only just come on and it's only been on the adverts. Thank you, Karen. I hope you had a good Christmas as well. I hope everybody had a good Christmas and you were all nicely relaxed before the anxiety of watching Leeds United again. Hold on, we're not on 19 points, are we? We are on 19 points. That's crazy, really, when you consider that we're already past the points total of last season's 3 that went down. Let's have a look at... Oh, actually, I think you can just... I think there's a little filter here. Yeah, 25... Prem table 24-25 season. Yeah, so Southampton finished on 12 points. Ipswich got 22. If we win today, we've matched Ipswich's point total for last season in half the games. And then, of course, Leicester finished on 25 points as well. So there's a good chance that if we win today, we're well on track. We are well on track to be a survivor this season. So that's of course a positive thing. We'll talk about the lineups in just a second. In fact, let's talk about them now. I think we've got enough people here to start talking about them. So Sunderland line up in their traditional 4-2-3-1. Ruffs in net. Then you've got Trey Hume at right back. Mukiele and Alderete come in as the 2 centre-backs. Dan Ballard unavailable for this one, which is a big plus for Leeds in terms of his physicality and the way that he may have been able to be quite good at dealing with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Later on, if we can bring Metcher on, we could probably give their back 2 a real run for their money. Alongside him is Alderete, and then at left-back is Kirkin. In the 2 holding roles is Granit Xhaka, who of course captains Sunderland, and Geertruida as well, who they signed in the summer from the Dutch league. Then in those 3 across the attacking midfield line, you've got Chris Rigg, Enzo Lefebvre, and Adingra as well, with Brian Brobby up front, who is also a very physical threat. But hopefully, with 3 centre backs, we're able to deal with them in their attacking phases. That's the Sunderland lineup. Of course, missing players like Noah Siddiqui, who's gone to AFCON. Diarra, I think, was injured. Of course, now Ballard is out as well. So yeah, there's a real chance here today at away at the Stadium of Light. So let's hope that we get the job done. And I think we're more than capable of, to be honest. I really do think we're more than capable. Someone just asking about the goal difference. Saying, do we go ahead of Bournemouth if we win? They're on -6. So yeah, we'd be level on points with Bournemouth. And we'd also, if we win by one goal, if we win by the odd goal, then we'll be on level on goal difference with them as well. We've scored less goals than them, so I think that we would be still behind them. Yeah, it's just saying Leeds have scored 12 goals from set pieces this season, which is the second most. Of course, we did score 4 in the game against Palace, which skews things slightly, but we are now a threat, and that is undeniable that we are a threat from those situations. So that is the way that Sunderland line up. Of course, those injuries are going to make a real difference today, and those absences due to AFCON. So that's the Leeds United lineup. 3-5-2, of course, as per usual. Then you've got Lucas Perry in goal, Bogle. Well, actually, no, it's more like Rodon, Biol, and Strauch at the back, with Bogle, Goodmanson, Ampadu, Stack, and Aronson across the middle of the park, with Okafor and Calvert-Lewin up front. Now, of course, we have got Metcha back on the bench today, and I do think that we've looked better with Metcha in this 3-5-2 than what we've looked with Okafor. And Okafor perhaps hasn't been able to impact the game as much as we would like. And I think the substitution a bit later on in the game, Okafor off for Metcha on, could really put the pressure on their backline, given the physicality that we've have up front, and especially from set pieces as well. Having that extra player in there who is an aerial threat in Lucas Metcha really, really gives them something else to think about when they're defending set pieces. So yeah, it's going to be I'm more confident given their absences. We're playing them at a very good time, but it is still away from home, and it's going to be a difficult task. This is the first Premier League meeting between these two sides in the Premier League since 2002, and Leeds have won 4 out of 5 games at the Stadium of the Light in the Premier League. Of course, none of that matters because it was over 20 years ago, so it makes no difference to today. However, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really, really appreciate that. Let me go back to the YouTube tab, and we can... I don't think I can like it because it's got like the sticker thing on it, but anyway, if it's possible, like the super chat, super sticker. But thank you very, very much for that. I really, really appreciate it. Five minutes till kickoff. Clive T asking, would I have started Metcha? The thing is, Metcha, I would have done if Metcha was 100% fit, but we know that Metcha isn't 100% fit because he's coming back from injury, so it makes sense to kind of have him on the bench to come on a bit later on. What I will say as well is that some people are complaining about Brendan Aronson being a starter in this game. However, I do think that Brendan Aronson was one of our best players against Crystal Palace. So, you can't really drop him after a performance like that. Now, if he is... let's just put the lineups on the team again, on the screen again, for anybody who's just joining us. Roofs in net for Sunderland. Back four of Hume, Mukiele, Alderete and Kirkin, which is obviously a changed backline due to the loss of Dan Ballard to injury. Granit Xhaka and Geertruida in the midfield, with Chris Rigg, Enzo Lefebvre and Simon Adingra as the three in the attacking midfield, with Brian Brobby being the lone striker for Sunderland. Sunderland's bench is looking very thin today. Patterson, Neil, Mayenda, Mundell, Isidore, Hielda, of course, ex-Leeds, Jones, and two more that I didn't get to read in time. Then when we have a look at Leeds' lineup, is Lucas Perry in goal. Then you have Joe Rodon, Jacobiol and Pascal Strauch. making up a strong three-man backline. Across the midfield, Bogle, Aronson, Ampadu, Stack and Goodmanson make up that five, with, of course, those two wing-backs that can drop in or go forward. And then, of course, up top, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Noah Okafor complete the lineup for Leeds United. Darlow, Piru, Mecha, Harrison, Tanaka, Bornout, Justin, Nonto and Gruev make up the bench for Leeds United. Of course, Mecha being back is something that we were just mentioning then, but he should be a real asset to us if we can get him on the pitch at some point in today's game. Just getting comfortable, ready for the kickoff. Hopefully this is a good game, and hopefully Leeds put in another good performance here. We're not traditionally good away from home this season, but we've got Calvert-Lewin, who is really, really in form. You've got a team of players who are full of confidence at the moment with this new formation, and it should set us up in a good position to really try to get a victory out of this one. Yeah, I think their sporting director passed away on Christmas Day for Sunderland, so there is a round of applause from the whole stadium, a minute's applause from the whole stadium at the moment, and now a minute's silence as well. That was a fast minute. Right. Players should be heading to their positions now, getting ready to kick off here at the Stadium of Light. Is there any particular reason why Sunderland sing an Elvis song? That's so random. Why do they sing "Can't Help Falling in Love with You" by Elvis? That's so random. We are just getting ready for kickoff now. Welcome everybody who is joining us. We are seconds out here from kickoff at the Stadium of Light. Referee checking he's happy with everything. We are underway then. Here's Roofs. Sends that ball long and forward there for Sunderland. Ampadu can't quite win that against Brobby. Ball back down the line here to Adingra. Bogle gets a good little foot in there from Adingra's pass, and it's going to be a throw in to... It's going to be a throw in here to Sunderland. Now, if you've watched my tactical preview, you'd know that Nordi Mukiele, signed from RB Leipzig in the summer, is their long throw-in taker, their Ethan Ampadu equivalent. Today, usually he plays right back, but today he's playing centre back, so he's going to have to come up for those long throw-ins and potentially leave gaps at the back. Here comes his first long throw into the box. Headed away, but not very far. Here's Adingra looking to shoot from distance. It's blocked by a Leeds player, and it's going to be a Sunderland corner there in the early stages here. But yeah, like I said, Mukiele will be coming up to take all of those long throw-ins. And Mecha here. That's the one I'm looking out for. Corner about to come in then from Enzo Lefebvre. Headed away by Leeds there. I think it was Jakabiyol who got on the end of that one. Picked up by Rigg. And then given back here to Kirkin. And then eventually all the way back to Roofs in the Sunderland goal. Although at the moment he's not in the goal, he's about halfway inside the Sunderland half. Here's Adingra coming down the left-hand side. Drops that off to Kirkin. Kirkin tries to cross it in. It's a good block, though, by Ampadu. And Nordi Mukiele will again come forward to come and take that throw-in. Yeah, you're always kind of expected Sunderland to take the game to us in the early stages here. So it's important that Leeds are capable of weathering this storm and then growing into the game as it goes on. Mukiele was about to take that long throw in, but he's going to stop and try again. Ball comes in. Away by Bogle this time, but only as far as Geertruida, I think it was. Kept in by Adingra. Away by Ampadu there, who absolutely hoofs it all the way to roofs. Here's Alderete. Back now to roofs. Yeah, Penny's saying important that Leeds stay focused here, especially in the early stages. If we're not, then there's every chance that the pressure gets too much on us. So we need to be careful not to concede, but also not so negative that we're staying away from closing things down and things. Okafor just giving away a free kick there, just on the halfway line. Like I said, Okafor starting again up front, and I think that's just because Mecha isn't fully match fit as he's returning from an injury, and they obviously don't want to just throw him in straight away in case it potentially makes him injured for longer, Mecha. So hopefully we get a little bit of a slower reintroduction, but later in the game when it's needed. Header there from Mukiele as the long ball came into the box is easily collected by Lucas Perry in the Leeds United goal. Aronson does really well there to get the ball to Okafor. Okafor fouled there by Hume. Should be a yellow card for me. Yeah, it should have been a yellow card. Look, it doesn't matter how early on it is. If you're stopping an attack like that, it's cynical and it's a yellow card. Okafor, if he gets past his man there and he's then able to play the ball back down the line to Aronson, Leeds are in behind, so... Shout out Grey Goose saying his son got him his first Leeds shirt for Christmas. Strauch here. Back all the way to Lucas Perry. Strange, isn't it, how times change? Within the space of a year, we were absolutely dominating the Championship, and now somehow Sunderland sits 6th. Calvert-Lewin with a fantastic first touch and a terrible second touch. Unfortunately, he's given the ball away again there. Leeds are able to put a bit more pressure on here. It is a throw into Sunderland, but Leeds, I think, are growing into it slightly and able to then put a bit of pressure on the ball. Yeah, with this formation, Sajal, especially the way that we're playing, I think... It's very forgiving, and it does allow you the ability to really stay in games. Here's Bogle back to Rodon, back all the way to Perry. Looks like they are going to try and press. Ooh, what's a risky pass there by Perry? Not necessarily a dodgy one, but a risky one. Very, very, very close from that. Rodon's just cleared a ball, but there was a very strong tackle as he sent the ball forward there from Brobby. Oh yeah, that's going to be a real ankle pain there as Brobby came to block that. As he went to clear that, Brobby comes in and oh yeah, his ankle bent sideways. This is not good if he's up again but he does seem like he's struggling to walk on it. Who else have we got we've got Bohr now on the bench as a centre back. I think. After that, do we have much on the bench? Calvert-Lewin trying to carry the ball forward here. Alderete, he's trying to clear it. Bogle gets it there to Anton Stack. Now Aronson. That's going to win Leeds a throw-in just by Daniel Farker. Here's Jacobiol. Drops that one off to Gabriel Goodmanson. Now back to Strauch. Ampadu. Goodmanson. Strauch. All the way back to Perry. Sunderland are trying to press us here. They are trying to put a lot of pressure on us when we have the ball. Anton Stacks comes short for that, and he's opened up a bit of room for himself, but Sunderland are trying to block off all those central lanes. I talked about it in the tactical preview. They do like to tuck narrow. You could see there when Strauch had the ball, they all tucked in narrow to cut off all those passing lanes. However, I'm not sure it'll be the end of the world for us, because we do like to play a lot of our moves come down the wings. We don't mind going out wide and crossing the ball into the box because of the attacking threat that we have in there. So it could play into our favour the way that they set up. At the moment, though, it's definitely them that have been on top. Ball down the line from Rodon there. Unfortunately, it was wayward, and that is going to be a throw-in to Sunderland. Here's Alderete. Good little bit of movement by him. Gets Dominic Calvert-Lewin off his back, but the pass forward was intercepted by Jacobiol. Now Rodon back to Perry. Rodon's still struggling here. I feel like he may have to... It may be one of those things where he's trying to soldier on, but you in a Premier League game, if you're at 50% running speed because you've injured your ankle, then you're as good as gone, really. Perry sends that one long after Stack lays it off to him. Here's Rodon. Back now to Anton Stack. Carrying it forward now. Stack. Good ball through. Here's Aronson. Gets it back to Calvert-Lewin. Anton Stack! Shot saved by Roofs there, but it's the first time Leeds have actually put a few passes together and gone forward there. Stack realised that he had a bit of room to come into, went forward with it. Aronson made a very good run forward from midfield. Just managed to get the ball to Calvert-Lewin, and then Stack's shot from the edge is just weak with his weak foot there, but that's a foul by Strauch there. Yeah, look, if Rodon doesn't recover fast, I think Sebastian Bornau is the sensible option, really. Yeah, I don't think it was a foul, though, Liam, is what they're saying. He's saying he was genuinely making an attempt to block the ball. Perhaps he was a bit careless with it, but... Here's Granit Xhaka. Ball down the line here. Goodmanson trying to stop it. The cross into the box is very deep, and in the end goes out for a Leeds goal kick. Poor cross there from Chris Rigg. Here's Lucas Perry with the goal kick. Long ball comes forward. Free header for Xhaka, that. Now Brobby challenges Ampadu. Leeds have the ball, though, here. Here's Strauch. Now Goodmanson. Back to Strauch again. I've noticed that the way that Sunderland are pressing is forcing Leeds to go back to the goalkeeper fairly often. Choosing to go long again this time. Calvert-Lewin gets a good little flick to Okafor there. Leeds have got a few players forward, but Sunderland have got a lot more back. Here's Aronson. Chance to put the ball in the box. It's gone over everyone. It's a poor cross in the end with his weak foot, but Anton Stack will pick it up on the opposite side. Stack then loses the ball to an Adingra tackle, but then gets it back off him, and then Anton Stack eventually gets the ball into the box, headed away though by Alderete. Now Ampadu to Rodon. Ampadu again. Little Trivella pass there to Pascal Struijk. Now Goodmanson. Struijk. Ampadu again. Ampadu just manages to get the ball there to Struijk. Foul though by the Sunderland player, which I think was Enzo Lefebvre. Just left one on Ampadu there. I think it unlocks him a little bit more, Clive Aronson, because he's got that bit of security behind him. So if he does lose the ball, you've got other players there who can try and win it back pretty immediately. Set piece opportunity for Leeds then. First one of the game. Anton Stack then with a deep floated ball towards the back stick. Biol tries to head it in. Away again by Kirkin. Now Ampadu. Now Struijk and Okafor over the bar. Okafor really should have kept that opportunity down. It bounced around in the box a lot and then dropped right to Okafor, who puts it over the bar in the end. I don't think it even got a deflection. Calvert-Lewin does... Ampadu does so well to get the ball back in. Calvert-Lewin does so well to chest it down. And then... Oh, no, it's a block. Yeah, it might have been going in the top corner, to be fair. Corner comes in. Ball still bouncing up in the air. The header from Jacobiol goes to his opposite number, Alderete, and now they try and play a ball down the line. Okafor's done so well to win that back, though. Well done, Okafor. Now Bogle. I thought he just made a terrible miss there. No, we're not on top. I'd say it's even. They definitely had the best of the opening 5 minutes, but Leeds are starting to come into the game a lot more now. But it's going to be another corner to Leeds. Or it should be. It's a goal kick, apparently. That's shocking. Hume definitely got a foot on that. Ball to Roofs there. Now Anton Stack closing down Alderete. His ball into the midfield is taken here by Geertruida. Now out wide to Hume. Maybe it's Geertruida, not Geertruida. I'll change that from now on. Here's Alderete. Now Kirkin. Ball inside here to Enzo Lefebvre. Shot from distance from Geertruida. No, it's going to go all the way through to Perry. He tried to pass instead of shoot. And it's, I think primarily Geertruida played as a fullback in the Eredivisie for PSV. So I don't think he's necessarily... unfortunately, I don't know the tune, Chewy, so... Long throw forward. His throw's almost as far as his kick, Perry. That's going to be a foul by Goodmanson. And a free kick to Sunderland just inside the Sunderland half. Well, in the opening 15 minutes, I'd say that it was definitely quite an even game. They really took it to us in the opening 5 minutes or so. But since then, it's been 50-50, really. Good challenge there from Stack. A really good sliding tackle. Is this the way to Alderete? Stack there, getting the block in, and it does mean that it's a corner kick here. 2 free Sunderland players on the edge, by the way, of this corner. Ball comes in towards the near post, headed up and away by Strauch, but not very far. And 2 Sunderland players absolutely wipe each other out in the box there. Mukiele and Rigg, I think it was. Here's Mukiele trying to get the ball back to Bogle. Adingra can't quite keep the ball in. And it's going to be a Leeds goal kick. If you haven't already, hit that like button on the stream. And if you're new here, hit the sub button as well. Pretty sure I've got a little button for that. There we go. Here comes Anton Stack as Leeds come forward. Ball to Bogle out wide. Bogle with a good touch, and then his cross is going to go out for a Leeds throw-in, and Ampadu is going to come across and take it. "11 years before I was born." Sorry, 9 years before I was born, Clive. So, I mean, it doesn't mean I won't know it, because I listen to a lot of like Fleetwood Mac and Queen and stuff that was before my time, but I don't know the tune to Albuquerque. I've heard of it. Long throw into the box. Oh, there's no one there to take it after Strauch's flick on. And that's good. Oh, apparently there was a challenge off the ball there from Okafor, but it just looked like Enzo Lefebvre ran across his path. They were both trying to get out of the box. Oh, yeah, maybe you just go to shoulder barge him off the ball, but still, it's not worthy of going down onto the ground. Alderete now. Here's Mukiele. His pass cut out there by Okafor, but it does go straight back to him, and then they're going to play the ball all the way back to Roofs, who plays it back out to Alderete. Here's Gertruda. Now Xhaka. Xhaka with the ball down the line there for Sirkin. Sirkin back to Adingra. Aronson trying to help out with Bogle there as they go back again to Xhaka. Now Adingra. Trying to get the ball past Bogle. That was a really good cross, but no one there to take it. Now Goodmanson's done really well to get past Rigg there as he's charging forwards. Oh, he's been tackled there. Took too long on the ball, Goodmanson. Good foot, though, by Aronson, but the ball straight back to Gertruda. Ball out wide again to Adingra. Now, usually you'd be saying that your promotion... your other teams that got promoted with you are games that you definitely should be winning, and we should be trying to win. But Sunderland are definitely a different proposition than some of the other teams that have been promoted in recent seasons. Good defending there by Rodon, just letting that ball roll back to Perry, trusting that he would get there before Brobby, who was close, by the way. Perry sends that one long again. Here is Aronson again. Well, 2 shots for each team, 1 on target for each team, 9 touches in the opposition box for Leeds, 6 touches in the opposition box for Sunderland, 48% possession for them, 52% possession for us. So what I'll say is it is very, very, it's very even and very equal in terms of the stats and in terms of what we're seeing as well. Which, to be fair, Busy Betico just asked, and I was already saying it, but so there's your little summary of what's happened so far. Here's Lucas Perry now with the ball at his feet once more. Perry with the long ball forward. That's going to be, I think it was an offside there against Sunderland, but they were charging through there with Enzo Lefebvre. Just Busy? No problem. Here's Jacobiel. Back now to Lucas Perry. Long ball forward. Calvert-Lewin wins that one well. Now Aronson. He's got Bogle outside him. Gives it to Bogle. Leeds have got players in the box. Ball across, who's cleared there by Mukiele in the end. It's a good little move that from Leeds, but Bogle's ball in the box has got to be better when there's that many Sunderland defenders in there. Really, you're not needing to put the ball in between the defenders and the goalkeeper on the ground as much with these strikers, essentially, because it's not necessarily his game. Calvert-Lewin probably is more grateful if you hang it up at the back post for him to get a header on. Here's Goodmanson. Now Okafor, back to Goodmanson. Now Aronson. Aronson seems to have a bit of a free role in this system where he can float around wherever he wants to, really. That's another bad tackle on Rodon there, or another painful tackle on Rodon. And he's rolling around in a lot of pain. It's the second time a very similar thing has happened. He's tried to play the ball forward and someone's gone through him. Oh, again, it's the same ankle again that's bent in the same way. I think Sebastian Bornau should be warming up, really. Chance for a drinks break for the rest of the players. I think it's the same ankle. Well, he got the ball. It's not even a foul. The only reason the ball's gone out of play, so it's going to be a throw-in. Still down here, Rodon. He's still down, Rodon, with his ankle here. So this is the first one. Yeah, the first one, Robbie just got the block. Yeah, he just got right through him there, Adingra. It's not a good challenge. He gets the ball, but the follow-through is not great at all. A 100 consecutive matches Joe Rodon's played for Leeds in the league. Yeah, Bornau is warming up in the background there. I can see him going up and down the line. But it's not a foul. It's like, as in, I think it probably should be. But it's not been given us one. It's going to be a throw-in to Leeds. Bogle to take it. Here's Aronson in the corner looking for a way to cross the ball in. He's done so well to get the ball to Calvert-Lewin. Now Bogle. Calvert-Lewin needs to get himself in the box now, but Leeds are going to have to go all the way back. Here's Strauch. Now Goodmanson. Back to Strauch again. If we're playing three at the back, we probably need to sign another centre-back in January as well. Poor ball forward that time from Perry. It's gone straight to Sunderland, and now Roofs has the ball. Here's Roofs again. Roof's still slowly walking forward with the ball. Rodon's back on the pitch. Here's Xhaka now. Now Geertruida. Sirkin now, coming down the line. Back to Adingra. Now Geertruida, Adingra. Rodon putting some challenges in there, and eventually it's going to be a throw-in to Sunderland. And Mukiele will come across and take that one. Morning, Robert. Welcome to the stream. Mukiele then getting ready to throw this one in. Yeah, Rodon still looks like he's struggling. Ball into the box. Headed by Calvert-Lewin. Leeds trying to get the ball away, but it's a great ball from Xhaka, and 1-0 to Sunderland. Again, like, why we're not closing down. It's a really good finish, but we're not closing down somebody like Granit Xhaka, who's always capable of that absolute killer ball. And he's played it there. The ball comes out from the corner. It's headed away by Calvert-Lewin. Xhaka picks it up and just instantly plays it, threads the eye of the needle right back through the Leeds back line, and Adingra's in to score. Let's have a look at this. Long throw-in comes in, headed away. It's very tight as to whether he's onside or not. It's a tight angle, and it's a very good finish to get that in the top corner from there. You could say Perry might do better. It's a very tight call as to whether it's offside. If it isn't, it's Rodon that's playing him on. Rodon was the last man back. They are going to have to check it, though, because it was very, very close. Yeah, it's constant, isn't it, having to come back from behind? First goal for Sunderland. Signed him from Brighton, didn't they? Yeah, you can only be off. The thing is, you can only be offside by a body part that you can play the ball with legally. So a shoulder is offside right down to the shirt line. A head is offside. A foot is offside, etc., etc. But an arm pointing isn't offside. They've got the semi-automated offsides. Rodon has sat down now, and I think maybe being substituted here. Yeah, Rodon's going off. Tanaka's coming on. So if we are staying with a back five, it's going to look something like this, I think. Ampadu goes into the 3. Tanaka comes into the midfield for Ampadu. Leeds are doing that thing where everyone gets on the halfway line. They play the ball back to the goalkeeper, and then the goalkeeper lumps it long. Leeds putting a bit of pressure on the back line. Alderete tries to clear it, but Tanaka's block goes straight to Roofs, unfortunately, from a Leeds point of view. No, Tanaka's just come on. No, not Bornau. Yeah, it might be if we might have gone to a 4-3-3. It's difficult to tell at this point, but well, the players are right that are on the lineup there. We'll have to see how it pans out. Here's Adingra. Now Brobby. Good tackle by Ampadu, but somehow Brobby's kept the ball. Now he hasn't. Aronson does really well there. Tanaka now spreads that one out wide to Okafor. Looks like we might be going into a bit of a 4-3-3. Here's Goodmanson getting forward, trying to get beyond him. Goodmanson tries to get the ball into the box, cleared away by Alderete. It's going to be a throw-in for Leeds that Ampadu's going to come across and take. Exactly, the Grey Goose. Which, the Grey Goose is Bart, isn't it? Because everyone's names have changed. Now it does your @name thing rather than your like your tag rather than your name that you've chosen. But I think @the Grey Goose is Bart the Superfan. That was your old name, I think. Ampadu then with a long throw in. Comes into the box, flicked on by Strauch, out to Alderete. Now Aronson to Tanaka. Tanaka back across the box. Out to the edge again. Here's Aronson. Good turn by him. Now Tanaka. Tries to cross the ball in. That's a corner for Leeds there. Chance for us to get on the end of something. Oh. My mistake then. Must be confusing you with somebody else. Stack with a corner into the box. Headed by Yakubiyol, caught by Roofs. It was on target, but you've got to be more accurate. Good tackle there by Leeds. Now Anton Stack has the ball back again after that great tackle. Tries to play it across the box. Wins Leeds another corner kick, though. I think he was going to have a shot there rather than pass it across to Calvert-Lewin. Ball into the box from Stack. Headed away by Alderete. And then away again by Rigg. Okafor's going to go all the way back to Perry in the Leeds goal. Now Bogle. Back to Perry again. Perry under some pressure here from Enzo Lefebvre. His ball forward though. Good chest down by Calvert-Lewin. He's done well there. Good hold-up play. Here's Stack. Now Yakubiyol. Yeah, it looks like we're in a 4-3-3 now. I'm going to change the lineup around mid-game so you can see what's going on. Ball into the box from Stack, just over the head of Calvert-Lewin. There you go, that's a little bit more like what the actual lineup is, a bit more faithful to what we're actually seeing on the pitch with the lineup now on the right-hand side, so that should help you visualise things a little bit better. Is Alderete. Now Nordi Mukiele. Carrying the ball forward here. Little chipped pass over the top. Good header by Strauch. Goodmanson looking to get rid of that one. Okafor does really well there to get the ball out of that situation, but it is a foul against Mukiele. Here's Yakubiyol. Now Strauch. Beal again back to Lucas Perry. Perry again gets the ball. Tanaka with the ball back there to Perry. Complaining about a bit of a shove there from Geertruida. Here's Perry. Yeah, they are pressing a lot, Sunderland, in this game. Here's Stack. Bit of a loose touch from him, but he gets the ball to Bogle eventually. Bogle does well to get the ball back to Perry. No problem, Dale. Thanks for joining us. Good hold-up play again by Calvert-Lewin there, dropping into the midfield, winning a header, back to his teammate, then getting back forward again. That's exactly what you want to see. Good play there from Aronson just to get away from his man. Drops it off to Stack. Leeds trying to get forward in numbers here. Here's Okafor out on the left wing. Okafor, I think, being a lot more potent in that left wing position is what I was going to say until he gave the ball away, but he definitely is, even despite that evidence there. And Purdue does well there to knock that one all the way back to Perry again. Now Jacobiol. Tanaka. Now Ampadu. Tanaka carrying it again. Now Jacobiol. Tanaka's done well there, despite just kind of running forward a little bit. He's got Leeds up the pitch. Calvert-Lewin, back to Aronson. Aronson to shoot! Good save by the goalkeeper. I thought he'd taken too many touches there, Aronson, and perhaps he did in the end because the goalkeeper saved it. But that's a really, really good save. Good bit of play from Leeds as well. Here's Aronson again making runs forward. He's unfortunately kept the ball. He's knocked the ball out of play there. Aronson couldn't quite keep it in, but good ball from Jacobiol into the box. Calvert-Lewin does so well. Oh, he saves it off the line, you know. I think it gets past the goalkeeper and it's saved off the line. Oh, it was in. It was in. Trey Hume has saved it off the line. It was in. What a nightmare. That was a really, really good bit of play by Leeds, and it would have been in if not for Trey Hume, being right on the line to stop it. Here's Strauch. Now Tanaka. Strauch. Ampadu. Beal. Ampadu again. Now Goodmanson. Leeds look for ways forward, but we just don't really have anything apart from that really good ball down the line. Here's Okafor. Goes to shoot. Curled past the post in the end. It was bouncing. It wasn't a very good shot. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin has played well. He was so close to being offside, Adingra, by Rodon's arse, I think it was, that kept him on. Long ball forward there from Roofs. Headed away by Goodmanson. Okafor with a good turn. Okafor on the run again down the left-hand side here. He's having a good game since he's been changed formation. Aronson at the back post can't quite get on the end of it. Here's Stack. Plays that one all the way back to Lucas Perry, and now Jacobiol has a little bit of time, perhaps, to carry the ball forward. Now Bogle. Biol. Now Stack. Okafor. Okafor tries to cross it in. Goodmanson, it hits Goodmanson, who was stood in the half space on the edge of the box, and in the end, Nothing coming from it. Long ball forward from that throw in there from Sunderland, but it's won back by Leeds. Here's Yacobiol now with the ball. Ampadu. Bogle. Back to Ampadu again. Leeds almost seem a little bit, after maybe some of those tackles that flew in from Sunderland, we seem a little bit frightened sometimes. That's a great ball by Stack, and Bogle picks it up on the right-hand side, and then he loses it. Sirkin. Somehow, Adingra kept that in, but it is straight back to a Leeds player. Ampadu now with the ball. Now Strauch. Ball out wide here. Here's Okafor out on the wing. Back to Ampadu. Now Tanaka. Biol with the first time ball back outside to Bogle. Bogle's got Tanaka beyond him. He tries to cross it. It's to Tanaka from the deflection. Oh, now Aronson inside the box. Ball across the box. Okafor can't quite get there at the back post. It's a really good pass from Aronson there, right across the face of goal. I don't know whether it was a shot by Aronson or not. I think it was a pass, you know. It's a really good pass right across the face of goal. It's too fast for Calvert-Lewin, and then Okafor can't quite get there at the back post. Rodon were like, as he was trying to play the ball forward twice on two separate occasions, he was absolutely mowed down, and his ankle bent the wrong way both times. Here's Adingra, the goal scorer for Sunderland. Back to Sirkin. All the way back to Alderete, and now across to Nordi Mukiele. Poor touch from Hume there as he's forced backwards here by Okafor, but he does manage to keep the ball in, I think. Yeah, he does, but Leeds have won it back. Here's Anton Stack. Now Gabriel Goodmanson. Okafor back to Stack again. Yacobiol's screaming for it, and he gets it now. Can he switch the point of attack? Puts the ball in towards the back post for Calvert-Lewin, who tries to flick it back, but wins Leeds a corner. It's not a bad tactic, is it, to be fair, from Yacobiol, just floating them in towards the back post. Calvert-Lewin, most of the time, is going to have a good chance of winning them, and if he doesn't win them, that's when you get in corners and stuff. So let's see what we can do from this one. Anton Stack to take the corner. Comes in, headed away though. Straight back to Stack again. It's bouncing. Stack does well there against Lefay. And it's going to be... Oh, I think it's going to be a Sunderland throw-in, you know. 5 minutes added on, by the way. Five minutes added on to this first half. Let's hope we can get a goal before half-time. Here's Alderete. Now Sunderland are going to look to try and break here. Here's Sirkin to Adingra. Adingra tackled there by Tanaka. Tanaka looking for a passing opportunity here. Gives the ball to Bogle, who sends that one down the line. Oh, it's gone straight out by the Sunderland manager's technical area. Here's Roofs. Last 15 minutes, Sunderland have had 0 shots, 0 on target, and 0 touches in the opposition box, and only 22% possession. Leeds have had a lot more than that in all categories aforementioned. Ball over the top here towards Brobby. They're not giving that. The Brobby played the ball past Perry and then it was cleared away before it got anywhere near the goal. Brobby did then get hit by the goalkeeper, but he'd already taken his shot, so I don't think that could possibly be considered a foul. It didn't impede him in any way. It was only after the ball had already gone. Well, Sunderland have played well through the lines there, and they're going to try and attack here. Here's Adingra. Leeds need to get players back. Here's Adingra as he heads towards the box. Cross into the back post. Brobby hits the bar, I think, there with the header. I don't know whether he missed completely or whether he hit the bar there, Brobby, but Leeds need to be careful. Yeah, he does. He hits the bar. Yeah, it's the upright. Leeds really need to be careful. He didn't really commit, did he, Perry, to that one? He kind of just like stopped halfway, and that's what meant that he didn't get all the way to the ball. Well, he can't get himself out of the way, can he, Perry? Though, really, let's be honest. He's physically there, so what can he do? He's got to try and stop it, and the ball had already gone. Here's Strauch. I can't believe we had one cleared off the line. I would be feeling a lot better if this were 1-1 right now. Aronson's should have been a goal, really. And Purdue. Now Goodmanson. Trying to play a ball down the line towards Okafor, but cleared away. Now Stack pokes it back down, but it's going to be a throw into Sunderland. Just about 1 minute left here of this first half. Throw in then for Sunderland. Rigg here. Plays the ball back again. Now Mukiele clears that one long. That's going to be a throw into Leeds. Here's Strauch. Now Biel. I wonder if this is the theme of Sunderland's season, really, that they just keep finding a way to win, even when they're not particularly on top in games. Ooh, Roof's had a ball rolling back towards his own goal there on the backspin. Oh, Tanaka gets the ball back. Oh, it's a good clearance in the end by Mukiele. And that's going to be a throw into Leeds. Ampadu to take the long throw in. No time for it, though. Well, that's the end of the first half. Let me stop the timer and everything. Right. That's half-time at 1-0 to Sunderland. I'm going to go and fill my water bottle up, and we'll be back very shortly to discuss what happened in that first half. I think we should be a level at least, really, but we'll discuss that very, very shortly. I'm just going to go and fill my water bottle. Hello, I am back. Yeah. Perfect explainer of that first half. In one sentence, a perfect way to explain that first half. Leeds are up in all the stats, apart from the one that counts, of course. So, the good thing about that is we look like we could score. And, of course, Aronson had one cleared off the line. So, we've been very, very close to scoring. So, let's hope that we do it in that second half. I think we reacted really well when we went a goal down. Of course, Rodon's injury made it a bit of an enforced change, but bringing Tanaka on into that midfield and then going to a back four allowed us to have a little bit more attacking potential, I think. It's helped us a little bit more, especially because Bogle and Goodmanson can also still get forward and help out there. I see what you're saying, getting onto one for Okafor, but I think Okafor's got something to offer, and I think he's always got the potential of opening up a chance for himself or for a teammate. Now, what I will say is if the game goes on a little bit later, I would personally leave it to... I think there's too much pre-planning going on in substitutions. For example, in this game, you're looking at bringing on Nonto for either winger. To me, I just leave that decision based on who's having the better game. So if Aronson's still having a good game and he seems to be the one most likely to open up chances, leave him on, take Okafor off, and the same the other way around. So, I mean, we should be back very shortly, shouldn't we? Yeah, look, it was a very good pass by Xhaka, but we should have been positionally more aware that something like that could happen. I think that the way that Xhaka's literally got a reputation for his ability to do things like that, and the fact that we didn't close him down and we didn't have that opportunity to stop him. Sorry, we did have an opportunity to stop him, but we didn't take that opportunity to stop him and stop Adingra is disappointed. You could say potentially that given the angle that the shot was from, Perry maybe should have done slightly better. But maybe that's a harsh criticism. It was a tight angle though, so it's a very good finish. But yeah, I'm just not sure whether it's something that he could have done anything about. But let's hope that we go back into the second half with a real verve and carry on where we left off, really, where we were creating chances still. Although there was a few in that first half where we were letting them have chances at the other end on the break. Yeah, we had a few really good chances. That one where Calvert-Lewin got the ball to Aronson and then off the line. So unlucky in the 39th minute. Yeah, if Aronson hits it anywhere other than there, it's a goal. But that's very harsh because he got it past the goalkeeper. So, yeah, it's... look, Robbie hitting the bar as well is a real warning sign for us that they can at any time come back up the other end and score. Strauch wasn't quite out to his man, and that could have easily been 2-0 and game over, really. Leeds are heading back out onto the pitch now. Are you saying that to me, Tim? Move on, the goal is done. Because do you want me to just sit in silence at half-time or talk about what actually happened in the first half? Because That's kind of what you do at half-time in a football game. You talk about what happened in the first half. Hopefully, going into the second half, we're able to create those chances that we were creating at the end of the first half and put something to bed. Sorry, I read someone's comment and it distracted me then. Not put something to bed, put something away in the back of the net and hope that they don't score a second. All right, we are back with the commentators now on the game, so we should be very, very close to starting again. Right, we're very close to starting the second half now. Up front, DMLS. Darlow up front. We've already done that, just Foxy. We've already gone to a back four. Rodon came off. Tanaka came on in the midfield. Aronson went right wing. Okafor went left wing. Long ball forward there from Lucas Perry. Again, headed away this time by Granit Xhaka. Let's settle in for the second half and hopefully see Leeds get back into the game. Here's Strauch. Little chipped ball down the line there towards Calvert-Lewin, but taken away quite well there by Mukiele. Headed away by Goodmanson. And again by Xhaka, but Leeds can pick that up with Strauch, who plays a weak-footed pass back to Lucas Perry and then gets it back off him. Bit of water skipping off the surface of the pitch when that pass went back to Strauch there, so it does seem to be a fairly slick surface for playing balls along the deck, but Leeds aren't really going to be looking to do that too much. Ball given away there by Aronson as him and Stack weren't quite on the same wavelength there. Here's Adingra. Wouldn't be a bad shout, Blue Jay. Now Ampadu. Stack. Sorry, it was Jacobiol actually. Back to Perry. Now Strauch. Goodmanson. Strauch again down the line to Okafor. Really good bit of play by Leeds there. And a good ball by Stack. Leeds have played really well through the lines here and are now out on the right wing with Aronson. Aronson, ball into the box. Calvert-Lewin! He's only gone and done it again! Come on! What a move that is from front to back in seconds. Leeds have scored to equalise at the Stadium of Light. That is an unreal move from Leeds United. Right from back to front. Stack plays it to Perry. Perry gives it to Strauch. Strauch to Goodmanson. Goodmanson gives it back. Down the line. Little flick by Okafor. Stack with a first-time ball out to the wing. Aronson runs in behind on the right-hand side. Cuts the ball across the face of goal. Calvert-Lewin makes a really good run and flicks it beyond Roofs to make it 1-1. What a move that is. That's a really good move. And by the way, Aronson's having a really good game. And that's Calvert-Lewin with another game with a consecutive goals. That's the best scoring tally in his career now in terms of consecutive goals in games. We would have known there when everyone was moaning about Calvert-Lewin. Just had time to get going, really. Here's Chris Rigg. On the edge of the box for Sunderland. Now Granit Xhaka. Ampadu with a good foot there. Straight back to a Sunderland play, but now Bogle nicks it. One Leeds a throw in there, Bogle. Sensible decision. Wasn't much on ahead of him. Excellent, excellent play. I tell you what, though, like, he's absolutely on fire, Calvert-Lewin. Tanaka. He's the 4th longest scoring run in Leeds United history now. 1930s, 1920s are the ones that are above him. Billy Furness, Tom Jennings, and there was another one as well from the 1930s and the 1920s. Here's Okafor down the left-hand side. Okafor with a crossing opportunity, flicked on towards the back post, Bogle! Oh, so close there from Leeds to making it 2-1. Away from home, William. I think at home you're looking to win. Away from home, it's a really good cross from Okafor, by the way. And a really good flick by Aronson, and then Bogle can't quite steer it goalwards, but Leeds are definitely creating good chances here. Here's Rigg. Now Alderete. Sirkin. Sunderland are always a threat, though. Here's Adingra out on the left-hand side. Inside now to Enzo Lefebvre. Trying to get the ball in a crossing opportunity. Ampadu's done so well there. And then Bogle. And then Leeds have won a throw-in. That's a really good defending. Really good defending. They're without... they're without Dan Ballard, which means that Mukiele is not playing right back. He's then playing in the centre-back. Hume doesn't normally get a start. They are very much having to reshuffle the pack in terms of their defence. So that is always going to cause you a few issues organisationally, I think. Good header by Stack there. Calvert-Lewin tries to flick it on, but no one beyond him. Here's Geertruida. Now Hume all the way back to Roofs. Oh, Leeds have got the ball here. Here's Tanaka. Good ball down the line here to Aronson. It's a little bit too wide for him, but he will now have a chance to cross. His cross is blocked, and it's going to be a corner kick to Leeds, which at the moment you never, ever mind that, do you? Joe Rodon looks like he's in pain on the bench. Well, put it this way. I would rather, at the moment, Calvert-Lewin's record of scoring goals in consecutive games continued than Rodon's of consecutive starts. Stack them with a cross into the box. Header caught by Roofs, but that's the second time Yakubiyol's got on the end of a header in this game. He just needs to direct it more and get a bit more power behind it. Ball down the line here. Here's Hume. Sorry. Yes, now it is Hume. Thought I'd confused myself there, but I hadn't. There's no Paul Robinson on this coverage. It's, what you call him? His name escapes me now. That I can see him. He works for LUTV and everything. Geordie bloke who'd played for Leeds as a striker. Michael Bridges. Adingra's gone down there, and it was right on the corner of the box. Referee says Bogle got the ball. There was a penalty shout there by the Sunderland fans. Calvert-Lewin's done... I thought he'd done well to keep hold of that, but he hadn't, and it's going to be a throw-in. Michael Bridges, that's the one. Yeah, Adingra trying to go past him. Oh, yeah, he does get the ball. But I thought he did get the ball anyway, because it hit him on the knee. His knee got it, and then Adingra tripped over his leg. So, I mean, Bridges is saying it's definitely... Here's Tanaka. But he's literally got a Geordie accent, William. Here's Ampadu. Calvert-Lewin back to Ampadu again. Offside, though, Calvert-Lewin was there. I think William may be getting confused with Tony Dorigo. His roofs for Sunderland. Header away by Bogle there. That's going to be offside against Sunderland's front line. Yeah, I mean Everton are doing fairly well this season, but you've got to say like that. Well, to be fair, probably if he did stay at Everton, he doesn't go on this scoring run, Calvert-Lewin. But you've got to be, as an Everton fan, looking at it going, he's just continuing to score, and we've just got rid of him. Oh, he's done so well there, Stack, to take the ball off the back line. Here's Stack again. Back to Goodmanson. Tries to cross it in. Gets it back to Stack. Towards the back post. Headed away, though. Now Tanaka back into the box. Aronson goes to shoot, and it's going to be another Leeds corner. He's been really good. He's been really, really good, Aronson, in today's game. Is somebody going to take this corner? Here is Stack to take the corner kick. Ball in towards the penalty spot. Headed away. Cleared now. Aronson heads it back towards Stack. Does well to keep it alive there, Aronson. Gets it back again. Loses it, though, unfortunately, to Xhaka there. Here's Getrauda. Tries to send Brobby away, but Goodmanson can head that back into the fray towards Okafor, who does foul Chris Rigg there. And it's going to be a free kick to Sunderland just inside their own half. In the second half, Leeds have had 4 shots, 2 on target, 8 shots in the opposition box, 8 touches in the opposition box, and 57% possession. Sunderland have had 0 shots, 0 on target, 1 touch in the opposition box, and 43% possession. So we have continued that dominant run that we were having towards the end of that first half, which is good. But again, like I said, you always need to be careful because Sunderland can always hit you with a goal. Tanaka's chasing down Hume here. Plays it back to Xhaka. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is slowly climbing that list of signing of the summer, isn't he? Xhaka's up there for Sunderland. But Calvert-Lewin is definitely climbing that list with the goals he's putting in. Here's Tanaka. Now, Ampadu. Here's Stack. I think Aronson's been fantastic in the last 2 games, you know. He's really coming into his own. He's been... Oh, Aronson in the box there. That's going to be a Leeds corner kick again. Do you know what? I think Aronson is looking, in the last 2 games, has looked like a £22 million player. Before that, we haven't seen that much of him. And sometimes players like Aronson will look better in the Premier League than they do in the Championship, and I think that's the case here. Stack with the ball into the box from the corner, headed away to the edge, though. Here's Bogle. Now Noah Okafor. Ball towards the back post, headed away, though, by Alderete. Now Adingra tries to carry it forward. Good block there by Leeds, and Stack with a fantastic challenge. Here's Strauch. Back out wide now to Aronson. Back across the box to Tanaka. Slices it wide in the end. He was always reaching for that one, and it goes wide in the end. Thanks, Dale. To be fair, it makes it easier to remember all the names when because I'm typing them into the lineups at the start of the game. It does then kind of embed in my mind who's playing for them. Whereas when we were in the Championship, sometimes I was like, oh, yep, and it's the Huddersfield bloke. Plays it into the other Huddersfield bloke. Here's Mukiele. Leeds have won the ball back here by Ampadu running past Xhaka. Ampadu into the box here. Tries to cross it in, but it's blocked by Xhaka, and it is going to be another Leeds United corner. We are piling on the pressure from these corners. Xhaka's got to be really slow for Ampadu to outrun him like that. Corner kick to Leeds then. This time, Biol, if you get your head on it, get some power behind it. They've been very loopy over to the goalkeeper's side. Very easy to them to catch. Short corner this time. Okafor out to the edge of the box. Aronson blazes it over the bar. Look, not the worst idea, but I do think that you've got a better chance just whipping it into the box. Yeah. Snatched at it there. The missing Noah Siddiqui. Habib Diarra is away anyway. Adingra was one that could potentially go, but he didn't get called up. So he's now not in the team. And then you've also got Ballard as well, who's injured. Obviously not AFCON, but he's injured, and he's a big part of why their backline has been successful this season. There was just a pull there on the back of Okafor's shirt, and Hume gets himself a yellow card. And I must tell you, a yellow card up against Okafor is not a good recipe for Hume here. Anton Stack then stands over this free kick. It's only about just in line with the edge of the centre circle in the Sunderland half. So it's a long cross to put in the box. Jakabiyol heads it back in. Ampadu heads it towards the centre. Back out to the edge again. Picked off by Goodmanson. Now Biyol out on the right wing. He finds himself in quite an unfamiliar position. Goodmanson. Back now to Aronson. And now Bogle on the halfway line. Here's Aronson. Bogle. Who are the other players that have gone away to AFCON? I know there is others, but I can only think of 2 or 3. Is it Talbi as well? Is he Moroccan or something? I think. Let me check. Yes, he is Moroccan. I've plucked that fact out of obscurity. I don't think I even knew that. I just kind of, I don't know, intuition. Here's Alderete. Now Roofs. Geertruida. Now Mukiele. Leeds trying to force Hume back here, who's taken a high position, but in the end Strauch can win that one back. Now Calvert-Lewin into the feet of Stack, and then the linesman puts his flag up. Yeah, I think maybe I knew that, but I don't know. Here's Sirkin. Thank you, Busy. Siddiqui, Talbi, Mandava, Traore. Oh, yeah, that's the... I forgot. Reynaldo, the one that came from Atletico Madrid, the left back. Here's Bogle. He's going to play the ball all the way back to Lucas Perry now. No, it wasn't a header by Calvert-Lewin. It was a cross across the face of goal by Aronson that Calvert-Lewin then redirected underneath the goalkeeper. Really, Aronson should have himself a goal and an assist, and we should be 2-1 up. But for that really good goal line clearance by Hume, long ball there for Okafor is hit too hard and bounces out for a Sunderland throw-in. Here's Mukiele, sends that one forward, headed away by Jakubijol. Now Ampadu brings it down, gives it into Aronson's feet. Aronson with a little bit of space to run into here. No one really closing him down. Now Jakubijol. Now Bogle. We have really, really started to dominate this game. I don't know if it's a Sunderland game plan to let us have the ball more, but we've really started to take the game to them. Tanaka with the ball into the box towards Calvert-Lewin, trying to catch the back line out by playing that early. Doesn't quite manage to, but Leeds still have the ball. Here's Aronson again. Oh, Aronson loses it this time. Did a bit too much there. Needed to just find a pass. Leeds need to just watch that our left-hand side there, right-hand side. Xhaka asking for a handball, but Leeds are able to play on here. Here's Stack now. Now Goodmanson. Okafor. Okafor on the edge of the box, being pushed the whole time there. Hits Alderete or Calvert-Lewin, I can't quite tell. But again, Leeds have the ball and they come back. Here's Stack. Good ball out to the right-hand side there for Brendan Aronson. Now Bogle. Ampadu. Back once again to the Renegade Master. Ampadu with a cross into the box away by Alderete. Good cross though. Good touch there. Aronson trying to bring it into the box. There's shouts for a handball there. Ball up again. Stack trying to win it. Ampadu back into the box. The ball's bouncing around there. Bit of a push. Stack shoots. Hits Okafor. Bouncing around again. Headed away again. Headed back again towards the box. Here's Goodmanson. Trying to go past his man. He's into the box here. Goodmanson puts it across the box. Ampadu! Saved away there by Sirkin. Headed back in towards the box again by Jakubijol. Clearance by Alderete, but it's not gone anywhere. It's gone back into the box again. Aronson wins it back. Ampadu again. Cross towards the back post. Caught by Roofs, and the attack finally ends after about 18 crosses into the box. Oh, so unlucky. I think the shot from Ampadu probably would have been saved, but wow, that was a lot of crosses back into the box there. Here comes Sunderland, though. Here's Trey Hume. Strauch does really well to get a foot in, but unfortunately the ball still goes back to Granit Xhaka. Plays it to Geertruida. Now Adingra. Cross in towards the back post. Good defending there by Goodmanson, but I think it was offside in the end. It was either offside or a foul on Hume, by Hume on Goodmanson, sorry. Some changes for Sunderland incoming. Yeah, foul on Goodmanson in the end, Hume. Goodmanson positioned himself really well there. So Brobby is coming off for Isidore. And Mayenda as well. Mayenda is 12 and he's coming on for Rig. I'll leave that on the screen for a little while. You can see the changes there. Mayenda has come on for Chris Rig and Wilson Isidore has come on for Brian Brobby. Perry then is getting ready to take his goal kick. Sorry, it should be a free kick actually, yeah. Sends that one long Way past the halfway line. Headed by Stack. Flicked on again by Okafor. Headed away, though, by Alderete. Good foot there by Ampadu. Now Okafor. Okafor looking to try and go past Hume here, and he has done. And he's won Leeds a corner. Yes, he's done well there, Okafor. He's done so well. Going to be Stack with the corner kick. Ball into the box. Ampadu feels like he was headbutted a bit there, but in the end it goes over the top of the pitch. From BBC, Blue Jay Matt has put this in the chat. Blue Jay Matt has put this in the Blue Jay chat. Calvert-Lewin's equaliser saw all 11 Leeds players touch the ball uninterrupted. It's just the second Premier League goal this season to involve all 11 for a team. Oh, I thought you were going to say all in history, because I thought that was quite a rare thing. But yeah, what a fantastic goal that was. Lucas Mecha is getting warmed up, by the way, or no, not necessarily at the moment. He's getting instructions. He's probably already warmed up. Here is Nordi Mukiele. That's a deflected ball forward towards Isidore. Isidore coming into the box. Jacobiol, very, very experienced and good defending there. Just to give a gentle shove just as he went to take the shot there, Isidore. Here's Okafor. Still going, Okafor, carrying the ball forward here. Loses it out, but Tanaka wins it back. Ball over the top there. Calvert-Lewin can potentially chase it down, but no, it's going to go all the way to Roofs. I mean, after Crystal Palace basically got upset and said we could only score from set pieces, what a way to respond by scoring that goal in this game. Here's Strauch. Now Ampadu. Goodmanson. Ball down the line there. Calvert-Lewin is going to get there before Alderete. He needs help though, Calvert-Lewin. Unfortunately, he's the one you want in the box and there's nobody else in there. Now Anton Stack. Apparently it was an offside against Calvert-Lewin there. Well, number 19 is coming off, which is Noah Okafor. Which means, of course, at number 14, Lucas Mecha is coming on. Let me just press that so you can see the Leeds lineup. There you go, Lucas Mecha on. Noah Okafor off. I think Noah Okafor has had a decent game, but I think Aronson has caused more trouble. So it makes sense to for that to be the swap. One ball forward there from Sunderland. Header won by Bogle. And again by Bogle. And now Tanaka into Ampadu. Great ball by Ampadu into Calvert-Lewin. Little chipped ball over the top for Mecha. Mecha feels like he was tripped by Hume as he was trying to go through on goal there, but nothing given by the referee. It's a really good ball from Calvert-Lewin. Just a little chipped ball into the path of Mecha. Nah, he knows he's never getting there, Mecha. I'm not sure. No, Mecha's playing out on the left wing, which is not an unknown position for him. He has done that before for Wolfsburg. Here's Ampadu. Should have played that pass earlier, but that's a fantastic ball. Unfortunately, just ahead of Aronson. Yeah, Mecha always knew he wasn't getting that. It was a good ball by Calvert-Lewin, just a tad too much on it. And as soon as Mecha knew it was going too much, he tried to slide for it and get there. But nah, nothing given from that. Here's Mukiele. Good foot there by Metcher. Leeds 10 shots, 2 on target, 23 touches in the opposition box and 59% possession to Sunderland's 1 shot, 1 on target, 2 touches in the opponent's box and 40-something% possession. We're in our blue away kit because they've obviously got a bit of white. We could have worn our... No, because we've got black shorts. Good little flick there by Metcher. Couldn't quite get it through to Calvert-Lewin. Strauch does well to come up and get that. Now Ampadu. Bogle. Jakobijol. Now Strauch. Goodmanson. Tanaka. Ampadu. Aronson. They're just mentioning on commentary how you've got the context of the fact that Sunderland have got Man City next, Leeds have got Liverpool next. Like, really, you want to get the victory in a situation like this so that you can, essentially, so that you can afford to drop points in those next games. Ball back to Ampadu. His shot is true and he struck it well, but it's saved straight down the middle in the end by Roofs. Poor pass from Xhaka, and then Ampadu's strike is palmed down. Strauch and Bijol, they look comfortable at the moment, I think. Although Strauch did just charge all the way up the pitch for some reason without the ball. That's going to be a throw in there to Sunderland. Here is Mukiele trying to play a ball forward. Now Mayenda. Mayenda in the box. Goes to shoot. Blocked by Leeds there. Good block in the end. Aronson. Now Tanaka. Tanaka with a first-time ball. Unfortunately, it split the difference between Metcher and Calvert-Lewin, so neither of them could get it. Good touch there, just to get in the way by Jakobijol. Done well, Bijol, to find Goodmanson, because he looked like he was about to overrun that. Here is Bijol again, back to Goodmanson. Go and get back in the centre-back position, please, Jake. You're making me feel very uncomfortable. He's Ampadu again now. Here's Ampadu, plays in yellow, white and blue. Oh, he's lost the ball there, and it's going to be a foul, though, by Isidore. Yeah, we've been very dominant in this second half. Very dominant. Here's Strauch. Now Jakobijol. Bijol's going to play that one all the way back to Lucas Perry. Now Strauch. Metcher. Back to Ampadu. Ampadu. Ball went out of play there. That was my exasperated sigh. Sorry, I realised I didn't illustrate that very well. Here's Alderete. Now Nordi Mukiele. Hume. Back to Mukiele again. He's going to play it all the way back to Roofs. Leeds putting a bit of pressure on, but he has got a pass to Alderete on and then potentially into the middle there, but plays it down the line. Little flick by Adingra. Probably a foul there by Bogle, but advantage played. And then, no, he's not been given the free kick. So Leeds can carry on here. Here's Ampadu. Well, we've been on a terrible run before that, hadn't we, Robert? So hopefully we're making up for that now. But when you do consider at the moment, as it stands, if this game finishes 1-1, we're 2 points shy of... I mean, we've already beaten, was it Southampton's total for last season? When we're 2 points shy of Ipswich's entire total for last season and 5 points shy of Leicester's entire total for last season. And we're only halfway through, so there are good signs. Obviously, if we continue like this, we're on for about 40 points. Supposedly, I haven't watched much Sunderland. I haven't watched any of Sunderland this season other than some highlights, but apparently Roofs has been really good for them. Good tackle there by Anton Stack. Apparently not according to the referee. Yeah, it was a foul by Stack. It was a foul by Stack in the end. It's a good crossing position. Enzo Lefebvre and Granit Xhaka are stood over it. They've got themselves a few tall players in the box. Isidore, Mukiele. Enzo Lefebvre with a cross in. Ball bounced off a Leeds player inadvertently and bounced straight back to Perry, who could fall on it luckily, but that could have been worrying there. Here's Goodmanson. Good accurate throw by Perry to give Goodmanson the ball. Looks like Aronson's now drifted over to the left-hand side, but interestingly, Metcher is still on the left-hand side, so it's not like they've swapped. Goodmanson. Strauch. Good ball down the line here. Little flick on. Here's Mukiele. Tries to clear it. Header away there. Good block there by, or good defensive header, should I say, by Ampadu. But Leeds get on with it straight away from the offside free kick. Here's Ampadu. Now Stack plays it all the way back to Perry. And now Strauch. Strauch with the ball down the line here. Ball bouncing through towards Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin feels like he was barged over from behind there. VAR will check it. He was barged over from behind. The ball came through past Metcher. To be fair, though, what I don't understand about this is if this is not, yeah, you can shoulder barge, but he used so much force there that whilst you're running, there's no way that you can keep yourself on your feet. So how is that not a foul? Or is that just a loophole in the rules that you can shoulder barge someone as hard as possible, knock them over, and then have no repercussions? Here's Alderete with the ball forward. Bogle tries to keep the ball in there, but he doesn't manage it. But it's only going to be a throw-in, and it's a fair distance away from goal. No worries, William. No problem. I enjoy doing it. Here's Mukiele. Good ball down the line from him, and Mayenda comes across to claim it. Good bit of play there from Mayenda, taking it past Strauch, and Strauch was left in no man's land. Luckily, Goodmanson really did a good job of anticipating what was going to happen then and swept up the danger. See, the thing is, as well, it wasn't even going to be a penalty because it was outside the box, so he could have easily given a free kick for it. However, if he did give a free kick for it in that position, there's every chance it's a red card because he's denying a goal-scoring opportunity. And there's no double jeopardy because it's outside the box. And it's Anton Stack territory for free kicks as well, so I'm a bit annoyed we didn't get that. Mayenda back here to Getrauda. Bit of a loose pass. Sunderland still have the ball, though, out wide to Adingra. Chance for him to try and cross the ball in. Good block there by Jaden Bogle, and it's going to be a corner kick here to Sunderland. Now, Leeds do like starting games with a 3-5-2, so if Rodon is unavailable for the next game, are we starting with Sebastian Bohr now? I'm not totally against it, because I think he's a good player, but against Liverpool, it might be a bit of a baptism of fire. Ball comes in from the corner, flicked on by Alderete, who hits himself in the face like an angry Dobby, and that is a Leeds goal kick. Substitution for Leeds and for Sunderland. Adingra for Sunderland is coming off. Adingra has come off for Sunderland. Who's replaced him? Oh, Romain Mundle. What number is Mundle? 12. No, Mayenda's 12. Calvert-Lewin's coming off for Nonto, so I imagine that means Metch is going to go up front. Nonto, who is number 29, I believe. Yeah, Metch is going to go up top then. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin's goal map this season is ridiculous. They're all right down the middle in the penalty area, about 5 or 6 yards out. Here's Metcher trying to charge forward. He was definitely tripped a little bit there, but he stays on his feet. Still going, Metcher. Ball down the line here towards Tanaka. Oh, and that's a bad foul there as well, surely, by Mundle. At least it looked like it from a distance. Yeah, there was a foul by Geertruida. Then another one, block off by Geertruida on Metcher. So he took 2 or 3 hits there before eventually going down, but he'd still managed to find a teammate, Metcher, so good play from him. Now Stack with a free kick. Ball into the box. Poor one. Yeah, Leeds are able to sweep that up as Mundle tried to break away. Now Nonto. Hopefully Nonto provides a little bit of that movement that's going to really make the fullbacks think twice about going forward. Stack heads that one back forward. Metcher tries to win it, but Alderete a bit stronger in that circumstance. No worries, Pierre. Welcome. Here's Enzo Lefebvre. Plays it back to Geertruida. Leeds battling there with Tanaka, but Geertruida comes away with it. Here's Enzo Lefebvre. Leeds doing well to get settled back into a formation here. Here's Sirkin again. Hope you had a good Christmas, Pierre. Here's Hume. Xhaka out wide now to Enzo Lefebvre. Lefebvre, Xhaka. Now Xhaka. I don't know what on earth that pass was. It was terrible. Goal kick to Leeds. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Henry, but sometimes it just doesn't go your way, but let's hope for a late goal from a Leeds perspective. 43 touches in the opponent's box Leeds have had in this match, which is ridiculous. Here's Xhaka. Good touch by Enzo Lefebvre, but Leeds pick it back up with Ampadu. Now Stack. Little bit of a foot in there by Lefebvre, and it's gone back to a Sunderland player. Well, won there by Jacobi Yol. Here's Alderete. Come on, Leeds. Thanks, Pierre. I'm glad you like them. Oh yeah, and by the way, good point to say, if anybody wants a Leeds United print artwork designed by me, and you want to support the channel, that's a good way to support me, and the link is in the description. Use code Christmas25 for 15% off. The reason I was saying that fast was because a ball was crossed into the box and Ampadu headed it away. Mukiele then is going to be the one to take this long throw in for Sunderland. Goes right back up to the advertising hoardings, and he's going to try and attempt to throw this one all the way inside the box. Throw into the box, headed away by Goodmanson. Straight back to Mukiele, who drops it to the edge of the box here. Here's Granit Xhaka. Back to Enzo Lefebvre. Good defending there by Goodmanson. Oh, he's done fantastically well there, Goodmanson. He really has. And Leeds can all get out now as Xhaka picks the ball back up. 3 minutes added on to this game. Here's Geertruida. Now Xhaka. Xhaka with the ball down the line, headed away by Goodmanson. Now Nonto. Oh, Nonto's had the ball taken off him. Mukiele a lot stronger than him in that case. And then a block by Goodmanson. It means it's another long throw to Mukiele now. Taken quick, actually, this time to Xhaka. Back down the line. Ball into the box, headed away by Goodmanson yet again. Now Aronson heads it away. Now Mecha tries to take it on one more. Xhaka plays it back here to Hume. Hume with the long ball forward. Enzo Lefebvre back again to Xhaka. Why is it the case that we'll be absolutely dominating through the whole game, and then at the end of the injury time, it's them that are the ones who are taking the ball towards us? Hume with the ball forward. Away by Strauch. Now Tanaka. Offside there against Sunderland. Chance for Leeds to get a little bit of a respite and a chance to get the ball forward as well here. Dingra and Brobby on the bench watching on. Long ball forward there. Nonto trying to win a header, which is never going to go well. That's a free kick against Stack, trying to win the ball against Xhaka there. They would have played against each other last season a fair couple of times. Twice, at least, if they didn't play in the cup. Here's Alderete. Ball into the box, headed away by Strauch, and then cleared away by Nonto. Not very well. He sliced that a bit, Nonto. Ampadu heads it. Now Nonto can clear it properly. Well, that's full time. Let's pause this. By the way, Bolan, please don't put things like that in the chat before the game's finished, because then it takes all the enjoyment out of the last few minutes if you're ahead of me. and you're saying that, then I know that it's finished as a draw, and then it's like, oh, well, that's boring then, isn't it? It's the same as saying whether a goal's gone in. It says it at the bottom. It's one of the rules of the stream. But yeah, so look, thanks for watching, everybody. Like Clive's saying, it is a bit disappointing not to get more. But Leeds United, again, showing a fantastic performance. 20 points after 20 games. Once again, puts us in position for 1 point per game. Wait, no, sorry. No, we're on more than that. We're on 20 points after 18 games. 7 points clear of 18th placed West Ham. So, look, that's really, really good signs from Leeds today. Played really well, and I thought we deserved more than what we actually got from the game. Thank you so much, Kennesaw Landis. Thanks for the commentary, Max. Pet Luna for me. Yes, I will, and I'll also give Piccolo a pet for you as well, because he's our kitten that we've had for a few weeks now, maybe a month or two. What am I doing? Oh, I'm liking it. There you go. I'm liking the chat. Thank you so much, Kennesaw Landis. Really, really appreciate the super chat. That goes a long way. Thank you so much for helping to keep the channel going, as goes for all of our Leeds Lately members and, of course, all of our non-members as well. Thank you, everybody, so much. Thank you, of course, to Karen Curtin as well, who has reminded me that it's a new year very soon. So thank you so much for the super chat, Karen. Really appreciate that. And I hope everybody has a happy new year. I hope everybody had a nice Christmas, happy new year. And, of course, Leeds United will be playing again very soon. So I will be live for that on New Year's Day. I'll be live for that on New Year's Day. And yeah, you'll see me back again then. But before that, of course, there will be a tactical preview. There'll be a match reaction to this game. So if you want a bit more detail on my thoughts about what happened in this game, you can check that out as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of your support during 2025. We hit 10K this year. We got promoted from the Championship. The channel grew. We had the Creator Cup. We had many good things that happened this year, so thank you for your continued support, everybody, throughout the course of the year. And of course, here's to many more years streaming and making YouTube videos for you guys to watch for our beloved Leeds United. Thank you, everybody, so much. Happy New Year, and check out the match reaction after the stream's finished. Thanks, everyone.